If I don't have a church and I do not tithe to a particular church, but instead I give to a Christian organization, is that okay? Well, it's not okay to not have a church. So let's start with that. You need to have a church. You need to have a church that you commit to. And I would say choose the best Bible teaching church within reasonable driving distance and make that your church home. That may be not the ideal church that you would have one day as we enter into the presence of God in a perfect situation. There is no perfect church, but I would want you to find the best church you can find within reasonable driving distance so that you can participate in it multiple times a week. And I would say that's where your money, your giving should go. A portion of what you make, you should give to the Lord, and that is given specifically and directly to a church, and that is considered a gift to the Lord, and that should govern your, as you call it, your tithing. Tithe means a tenth, and that's a good place to start, just to think about a tenth of all that I have. I want to be able to give that, the income that I get, to my church. Because the Bible clearly says in 1 Corinthians 9, if the church is leading you spiritually, if they're feeding you spiritual truths, you need to respond with material gifts to that church. Although it is considered a gift to God, it clearly is going to be cashed at an account that your church has so that they can pay the bills, pay their leaders, pay for whatever is needed, insurance and all the rest that every church has to deal with. And all of that should be coming from its individual members, the parts of the church that are active in that church, receiving the benefit of the church. So I would say the problem with the question isn't that, hey, this is a bad thing to give to. If you got a great Christian organization, you should give to a Christian organization if you think it's worthy of your giving. And there's plenty of nonprofits out there that are doing work for Christ beyond the local church, and that's great. But first and foremost, you need to have a church, you need to give to that church. All right.